Boundaries are your bodyguard. They are so important. And today I want to share with you 6 must know that I wish I knew sooner that will help you set your boundaries efficiently for the best results. Let's start right away. First thing, your boundaries are literally the rules, your rules that people need to meet to get into your life, to have access to you. Just like a facility, let's say a museum, there are rules to follow. You have to just respect the rules. They are stated at the entrance and you just have to meet them. No smoking, no drinking in the facility, no this, no that. This is the rule of your boundaries. Number 2, as said before, let's say you're a museum, your rules must be displayed at the entrance. People need to know who you are, what's important to you, how you want to be treated, what you tolerate, what you don't. You have to tell people who you are. You have to show yourself. You have to kind of introduce yourself as early as you can. I know that there's this thing in this society, I mean, mysterious and shady is apparently something attractive. I don't understand why. Personally, I get reassured when I know someone, when I get to know this person as soon as possible. You need to let people understand who you are. In this world, with all the weird stuff going on, we just need to understand who we have in front of us as early as possible. Tell people who you are. Tell people what matters to you as early as we can. When you just meet someone for the first time, try to introduce yourself as early as possible. What truly matters to you? Who are you? What are your values? What you know you don't tolerate? You don't have to put it in an aggressive way. I warn you, don't do this to me. Not like that. But just let people know who you are. Phrase it in a way that is just subtle. If you go on a date, if you meet new people, let them know who you are. Let them have a global idea of who you are. So obviously you can set every single boundary. You're not going to literally read all the boundaries in front of this person, but at least they have an idea of what kind of stuff you tolerate, what you don't. And that's very important because way too often people get mad because someone breached a boundary they never stated in the first place. People can guess who you are. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have people coming over for the first time and in your house you really need people to take their shoes off. This is something that you do. That's the way it is. When this person enters your house, you don't say anything. Just look at them and you look angry and frustrated, but you don't say anything. This person is not supposed to know that. You have to tell them. That's an example that I like to give because it shows to me very well the importance of stating boundaries. As obvious as it seems, people cannot read your mind. So show yourself as early as you can and state your boundaries clearly with people. Personally, I really cannot stand when I can sense that someone is bothered because I did something and they're not telling me what it is. I really don't like being in this position because I'm not a disrespectful person, but you're putting me in a position where I am disrespecting you and I don't even know how. That's really horrible for the other person. Tell me who you are so I can respect you. Okay, moving on with this one. Third, very important point. You can't impose your boundaries to people. You can't make people respect you. You can't force people to respect you. Yeah, I know. No, it's not possible. Unfortunately, we haven't found a solution for that yet. Going back to the example of the museum, let's say there are people in the museum. As I was saying before, the rules are displayed, but then you know what's gonna happen. There will always be people who will breach your boundaries. Always, even when you state them. This is something that you can't control, unfortunately. There will be someone who's gonna smoke behind the bush. It was written on the rules. No smoking, no drinking, no I don't know what. Someone is gonna do it, right? There's nothing you can do about it. You have to accept that boundaries are for you, but you cannot impose it to people. All you can do is state them. And then people can choose if they want to respect it or not. If they don't respect it, then it's yours to decide what you want to do about it. You get to decide how many times, for example, you want to repeat yourself, what kind of consequences you want to create in that kind of situation. For example, you can decide that if someone says, I don't care, for example, I don't like to be insulted, someone tells you, I don't care, and they keep insulting you, you decide that you will no longer have this conversation with this person and you exit. That's it. That's all you can do. You can decide, well, we cannot hang out anymore because this is something that's important to me, and if you can't meet me there, then we cannot be friends or we cannot date anymore. You get to decide how important this is to you and what kind of measures you want to take. When you're in a museum and someone is eating and it was forbidden, you don't see the security coming and screaming, hey you, what are you doing? You're not supposed to smoke here. What the are you doing? You don't see that happening. Someone's gonna approach you and tell you, sir, You're not supposed to do that here. You're not supposed to eat in here. You get to decide how many times you want to have to repeat it. If the person says, okay, sorry, they do it again, whether they understand right away or maybe they'll do it again. If they do it again, you get to decide how many times you want to repeat yourself. 1 time, 2 times, to the 3rd time, sir, you gotta go. You gotta go. You can't stay here. You are breaking the rules multiple times. You cannot stay. You have to leave. That's all you can do. Yeah, I know. Trust me. I wish people could just have to respect your boundaries, but that's not how it works. And that leads us to the 4th extremely important point. That is that boundaries are only about you. Boundaries only affect you. Boundaries are only a rule to follow that directly impacts you. It cannot be something that is external. Let me give you an example. You see someone playing with their hair and that's annoying. That is something that you can stand seeing. People do this for too long. It's just annoying to you and you tell this person to stop doing that because it annoys you and you just can't stand that. Can you stop, please? That's not a boundary at all. You're being a tyrant. That's pretty awkward, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this happened to me, that people, out of nowhere told me to stop doing stuff that was really attacking my personal freedom of existing. So it's important to make the difference between you violating someone's freedom to exist and you personally being legitimately bothered. If someone plays with your hair, on the other hand, now you can say something. You can say, I don't like when people touch my hair. Don't touch my hair, please. But you can tell someone, stop touching your hair. Stop dancing like that. Stop talking like that. You can only tell someone, don't insult me. I don't like to be insulted. I'm not allowing you to insult me. I won't tolerate that. You call me this or that name. But if someone is sweary naturally, they just like to say and there's nothing you can do about that. That's the way they speak. You have to respect that. I'm a pretty sweary person myself. There's a big difference between hitting a table and hitting a person. If you realize you don't like something about someone and this is overwhelming for you, you have to take your responsibilities about it and take a distance with this person. But you cannot make people behave the way you want. That's being a tyrant. I repeat, that's being a tyrant. So in a nutshell, boundaries are only about you. It's only about how people behave with you. The last one is the most important of all, so make sure to stay until the end to see the key point to know about boundaries. Moving on to the 5th point to know about boundaries, be respectful when you set them. I know that sometimes people are repeatedly disrespecting you, but sometimes people didn't know because there are boundaries that people cannot know before. Even though it seems obvious to you, there are boundaries that people will breach inevitably because they don't know you. There was no way for you to say it beforehand because you cannot tell everything about you to someone. So at some point, people will disrespect you or overstep, and it's not their fault. There's nothing you can do about it. So when you set your boundary, try to be respectful and set it kindly because they don't know. And tomorrow it's going to be your turn. You're going to breach someone's boundary. You're going to say something that's going to bother someone. Try to behave with other people the way you would like other people to behave with you. So obviously, I'm not talking about the case where someone is repeatedly calling you a very bad name, even though even there, you could still decide to stay respectful. But when someone is reaching a boundary they just didn't know existed, try to be compassionate, regulate your triggers, and bear with them. Try to calm down and to remember that this person doesn't know you, didn't know this boundary existed. Just tell them nicely, I don't like when people do that. It's disrespectful. The other day you called me that, and I know you were joking, but to me it's really hurtful. I don't like to be called that. Just understand that we all in the end have a different understanding of what's important, what's not, of what's disrespectful, what's not. And the 6th and last, thank you so much for watching this far. The most important thing of all to know with boundaries is to check the level of consciousness of the people in front of you, because I see too many people stating boundaries with people that are not capable to receive them. There are people who won't be able to respect you no matter how much you try, no matter how many times you repeat yourself. It's not their fault, okay? They are stuck in a reality that you don't need to understand, that you don't want to go to. You don't want to dive into their childhood, dive into their trauma and try to make sense of why they can't respect people. You can understand that, and it's not your responsibility to even make sense of that. Let it go. When you can tell that someone has no intention to respect you, let go. It's not even their fault. But I'm telling you to let go because this is literally like talking to a zombie. Okay? There is no one there. They cannot hear you. The information is not getting to them. So when you state a boundary, make sure the person in front of you is capable of receiving it. If they are not, don't be too harsh, don't be too rigid with this boundary. Drop it, okay? Some people, as I was saying before, won't respect your boundaries. Prepare yourself to that. Accept that. Understand that some people just, and stop fighting and fighting and fighting with someone that's just not capable of receiving the information. They cannot hear you. You're wasting your time. So make sure to do that when you interact with people, when you meet someone new for the first time, when you're randomly disrespected. Make sure you check if the person is capable of understanding what you're saying, is capable of respecting other people, is capable of listening to other people, understanding them. If not, just drop it. Keep your distance, keep a healthy distance with this person. Make the conversation short and just leave, okay? Keep your distance with them and just leave. Do what's best for your mental health. Don't waste your time and energy. This is a big one. So this is it for me. Boundaries are a big topic in my life, in my journey. I'm really happy I got to share this very important point with you. I hope you share this information because so many people need to see this. If you think of additional ones, feel free to drop in the comment. I would love to read them. And if you enjoyed watching this video, then subscribe and join the self-awareness journey. I will leave you there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.